Look at your screen. A CIA-produced document created in October 1953 and declassified in 2022 illustrates how the United States conducted psychological and intelligence operations in several Latin American countries and an additional redacted country during the Cold War. These operations did not rely solely on military force. Instead, they used communication strategies such as leaflet drops, loudspeaker broadcasts, and sensational messaging to shape public perception and political outcomes. This approach reflects an early form of what would be later called information or psychological warfare, a tactic intended to influence populations through beliefs and behavior as opposed to direct physical force. So, you might be wondering what this, and this, and finally, this has in common with the CIA. We will return to that shortly. For now, welcome to Ayana's Corner, where diaspora women and new Americans shape the future. We're here to inform, inspire, and equip you to lead, engage, and transform with your community. Today, we're going to discuss memetic warfare. But in order to understand it, we first need to understand what a meme is. The term meme was introduced by Richard Dawkins in his 1976 book, The Selfish Gene. Dawkins described a meme as a unit of cultural transmission comparable to a gene in biology. He argued that cultural elements such as phrases, tunes, or rituals replicate and evolve as they pass from person to person. In contemporary usage, the word meme most often refers to digital images, videos, or phrases that are repeatedly shared and modified online. The earliest widely recognized digital meme was the dancing baby animation that circulated on the internet in 1996. Meme culture expanded with the rise of social media. In the early 2000s, memes spread mainly through online forums and email chains. In the early 2010s, platforms such as Instagram and YouTube accelerated their circulation, making memes a central form of digital communication and cultural reference. By the late 2010s and the early 2020s, platforms such as Twitter and TikTok enabled memes to move rapidly across formats including text, images, and sound. As a result, memes became more than entertainment. They increasingly functioned as tools for shaping social attitudes and political meaning. Jeff Casilla, who is widely associated with developing the modern concept of memetic warfare, defines it as an effort to control narratives in psychological space rather than physical territory. In his description, memetic warfare seeks to disrupt and subvert an opponent's messaging and can operate independently of physical military force. It functions within what he calls the communications battle space, meaning the arena of public discourse, media systems, and social networks. This all raises an important question. What do memes have to do with government institutions? Memes matter because modern influence operates at both the level of meaning and infrastructure. Memetic warfare shapes perception through humor, symbolism, and repeated framing embedded in digital culture. Reflecting this shift, the U.S. Department of Defense's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA for short, launched the Social Media and Strategic Communications, or SMISC for short, program in 2011 to study and counter online influence. A closely related example is Vault 7, published in 2017 by WikiLeaks and attributed to tools developed by the Central Intelligence Agency, or the CIA. While not about memes, it revealed efforts to penetrate the same digital environments where narratives spread, underscoring the strategic value of technical access. The shift from Cold War broadcast psychological operations to operating within network systems of participation and implications shows how cultural influence and cyber capabilities now converge with a single strategic information environment. Researchers have since examined how memes operate in the real-world conflicts. According to Nottingham Trent University, memes played a visible role during the war in Ukraine by circulating alongside military operations and cyber activity. Memes were used to boost morale, share verified information, and counter disinformation, but also to ridicule opponents and manipulate emotional responses. Scholars note that memes were often dismissed as harmless humor, which allows political actors to embed ideological messages within them. Repeated exposure can normalize extreme or misleading ideas and reduce critical scrutiny. In this context, humor functions as a protective cover for propaganda by making serious claims appear ironic or trivial. This becomes especially concerning when memes reference real acts of violence or tragedy. When such events are transformed into joke formats, the emotional weight of the incident is diminished, and the framing can shift from human suffering to entertainment. Even when the intent is to cope or diffuse tension, circulating these memes still participates in shaping how the event is socially understood. Minimizing harm through humor does not remove the psychological or political impact of the message. Rather, it changes its form. The influence of memes is further complicated by the structure of the internet itself. According to the 2025 report by Imperva, automatic bot traffic accounts for nearly half of global web activity. Check out this video to learn more. This means that viral trends and popular memes are not always the result of organic public interest. Coordinated campaigns can artificially amplify certain narratives, making them appear widely accepted or culturally dominant. Younger users often rely on memes as a way to process overwhelming or distressing information. Humor can function as a coping mechanism in an environment saturated with constant news and crisis. But at the same time, social media platforms reward emotional reactions, particularly outrage, ridicule, and shock, more than careful, succinct explanations. Content that provokes strong feelings spreads more easily than content that can provide context or nuance. And as a result, distorted framing and misinformation can travel farther and faster than corrective information. Recognizing manipulative memes requires critical evaluation. Here's what you can do to counteract propaganda on your screen. You can 1. Examine the source of the meme and consider whether the creator has a political or ideological agenda. 2. Reverse image searches can reveal whether an image has been used or taken out of context. 3. Avoid posts that are fear-mongering. Emotional manipulations such as appeals to fear or mockery are only beneficial for your attention but never give any valuable or helpful solutions. And 4. Claims embedded in memes should be verified using reliable news or official resources. Always verify your sources through multiple if you can. Whether individuals are not immune to propaganda, they are capable of identifying it. Understanding memes as carriers of cultural meaning rather than harmless jokes allows people to engage with them more critically. Recognizing how humor, repetition, and emotional framing operates makes it possible to resist manipulation rather than unknowingly participating in it. Want to stay informed? Follow IATA Leads on our social media networks, sign up for our email list to get updates on events and resources, and if you can, donate to support our work. Together, we're building power and shaping the future. IATA out.